In today's video, I will show you another method to create a scalloped edge. For this sample, I cast on 62 stitches. I have 3 sections of 16 needles and 1 of 14, but really what I'm using here is multiples of 14 with 2 needles in between. As you can see, I'm holding my toes to mark one 16 needle section. I like to push needles out to see my sections better. So I have the 3 needles I will transfer to form the eyelets. They are the ones pushed out the most, with 8 in between, and then I have the 2 extra stitches on the right side. The last section is 40 needles only, as I don't need the 2 extra. You can choose to have a different number of needles for each scallop depending on what design you want to create for the rest of your sample. I will do a quick waste yarn cast on. I recommend knitting a few rows in waste yarn and then cast on with your actual yarn when creating a scalloped edge using this method. So I have every other needle in action and I will be knitting 1 row in waste yarn. I will attach my comb and weight and then place the rest of the needles in action. I also like to push them all the way out before knitting rows. And I'm going to knit a few rows in my waste yarn. I am ready to cast on my actual yarn. I will do a regular E-wrap cast on, but you can choose to do a different one if you prefer. Knit 1 row and we are ready to start transferring to form the first eyelets. We'll be using a 3-pronged tool. Grab the first 3 stitches right at the edge and transfer them all at once, 1 stitch to the right. You can choose to have an extra stitch on the edge. I haven't used this technique for a garment yet, so I'm not sure what would work best. Now we have 2 stitches on this needle. And from that needle, count 6. Skip the 7th needle and grab the next 3 stitches and transfer them at once, 1 stitch to the left. Now you will have 2 stitches on the 7th needle. And this is 1 section or 1 scallop completed. To do the next section, skip 2 needles and again transfer 3 stitches at once, 1 stitch to the right to create the next eyelet. Skip 6 stitches and transfer again to form the next eyelet, transferring to the left and so forth. These are the 4 scallops we will create and the direction we will transfer. Make sure to put all the needles back in working position and knit 2 rows. For the next set of transfers, we will be moving 1 stitch to the left and to the right, or towards the inside of the scallop. So last time we grabbed the first 3 stitches to form an eyelet, now we will skip the first one and repeat that, 3 stitches at once, 1 stitch to the right. This is the previous eyelet we formed and the next one will be right here. You can also count like we did last time, but this time we will count 4 stitches. Skip the 5th and transfer 3 stitches at once, 1 stitch to the left. Skip 2 stitches and repeat that across. Skip 2 stitches and repeat that across. Again, make sure to put the needles back in action and knit 2 more rows. I have to do one more set of transfers, and now the 2 needles that have 2 stitches on them will be right next to each other. I have 4 eyelets in total, but depending on how wide you want your scallop to be, you might have more or less. I think this is an easy way to add a really nice detail to the hem of a garment, and there are multiple ways to use it, depending if you have a ribbon bed or not. As always, if you do try anything, make sure to tag me on Instagram or Facebook. If you'd like to download a chart for this cable design, you can find that on my Patreon page. I will upload it next Sunday. Patreon is a great place where you could support my channel and also have access to extra content. I haven't been posting so often here on YouTube because I'm posting more on Patreon. So if you'd like to see other videos, please check them out. As always, thank you so much for everyone who's supporting me on Patreon, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye!